Just Between Us Couch Edition, because there's also Just Between Us Podcast Edition and Just Between Us TikTok Edition. But what you're watching right now is a YouTube video.
I'm Gabe Dunn. I used to be a different thing.
All right, I'm Allison Raskin. I'm ever evolving. So on today's episode,
Massive trigger warning.
I thought we would talk about weight and anti-fat bias and our own changing bodies, because as we restarted the couch videos, I did it with the anticipation of all the comments about how I've gained so much weight and oh my god, what happened to me, look at what I used to look like, I'm so unhealthy now, oh no, called the police.
Did anyone do that?
No one called the police, but people are, love to point out that I don't look the way that I used to.
Same, girl. I got one today that was like a comment on an old video that was like, it's a shame that she used to look like this considering how she looks now. And then the person commented on a new video and was like, you'll never be a boy, all this transphobic stuff. My favorite part of it was because they wrote the comment and then they wrote, like, in parentheses, 1 of 2, and then wrote the next one. I was like, I just imagine this person being so angry and transphobic and then typing 1/2.
I also want to talk about this topic because I feel like I've done a lot to combat my own anti-fat bias and come to terms with my new body and all this stuff, but then having a wedding coming up.
Sure.
Like, it's hard, right? Like, if I could just exist in the world.
Yeah.
And all I ever had to do was just, like, exist, and I saw myself in the mirror, and that was it. I think I would be a lot further along on my journey of acceptance and getting rid of all my stigma that society's poured on me for my entire life. But it's when it's photos or videos that I still get upset about. And it's this double-handed thing of like, why should I care? This is so silly that I care. I'm causing more harm to the world by caring about this because we should be past this. And then also like this self-compassion of myself of like, I do exist in the real world. I am dealing with comments about my weight quite often. It is normal to want to like yourself in your wedding photos, it's this like tug of war. And then the next question of being like, so what do I want to do about it? Does that mean that I do want to change some of my diet leading up to the wedding?
I hate that.
But like, how do I do that in a more healthy way where it's not so restrictive, but it's maybe just like some small changes?
But why? So you look not like yourself on one day and then just go back to looking like yourself? Well, for what reason?
So that when I look at the photos, I like them. And so that I like, and it's mostly my face. It's mostly that like
But John loves your face and we all like your face. So like, it's just silly to me to diet to lead up to a specific day.
But you're acting like this is like the most absurd notion.
It's not
and nobody
absurd.
has felt this
No,
pressure
it's
in their
not
lives.
absurd. Everybody feels it. I'm just saying, like, I never understood it.
Okay, but you go through a lot to change the way that you look, and you care a lot about the way that you look and present to the world and all of those things.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're all traumatized. And there's all these things that are normal that like have been played as normal. Like every fucking movie about a wedding is always like fitting into the dress. Like we've just like everything is just like soaked in our brains.
Yeah, but so I'm talking about how to find that balance. I think it's just like acknowledging that this is like this can be like a difficult and triggering time.
It is a triggering time.
And when, even if you are on a journey of getting rid of your anti-fat bias,
right,
and like putting in that work, like having something like a wedding come up can sort of like cause a bit of a backslide. And so I'm just like, I don't know, I just like wanted to give space to that and to like acknowledge it and say that it's like something I'm struggling with. Yeah. I don't necessarily want you to yell at me about it.
I'm not yelling at you.
But you've never seen a photo of yourself and not liked the photo?
Obviously, I'm trans.
It's also difficult, and this is not just about the wedding, actually not about the wedding at all, because you have just one outfit for that. I still don't totally get how to dress for this body type. I don't know how to. And then I also have sensory issues.
Right.
So I can't just go out and like see a stylist or like ask a friend to dress me because I have all of these
specific
restrictions around what I can and cannot wear comfortably.
Right.
And it took me forever to get to a place where I figured out what I could wear comfortably. Then my body changed. And so like there's also like that element of it too that's hard.
Right.
And like I wish I could just like go on a mission, find one outfit that I like, and then be allowed to wear that outfit every day until I die.
Yeah. Do it.
Like we got these photos back from John's sister's wedding, and I look horrible in them. Also, I think my blonde hair was a huge mistake.
I liked it.
Sometimes it looked so bad, but
it looks good now. Be like your hair now because it's just giving that classic Betty Page thing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I hated the photos, and part of it I was like, this just like dress just doesn't feel like me. Like the dress that I was wearing, I was like, I had looked for all these different dresses, and it was like really hard to find something, and it ended up being something that like other people, like my family said was good, but like just looking at the dresses, I was like, it's just not a neat dress.
You didn't feel comfortable.
It didn't like at the time I liked it, but like looking at the photos, I was like, I don't know, this doesn't do anything for me. Like it's not flattering to me. It doesn't feel like my vibe. Like, and so I do think that like a big thing that can help like accepting like your body changing and all of that is figuring out the right style for your body,
right? And
like the style of like how you want to represent yourself to the world. But I feel constantly in conflict because I can never dress the way that I want to dress in the first place,
right?
And so it like compounds everything.
It's so loaded because I remember my mom used to like, as a way to insult fat people, used to be like, well, I'm not saying she's fat, I'm just saying she should dress for her body type. And I'd be like, what does that mean? Or like, I think it's more flattering to not wear a bikini. What? Like, what? Leave people alone. So like, I don't know. It's hard to like, be like, oh, I should dress for my body type, because then I feel like, is that you insulting yourself? I don't know.
I just mean things that I think just like, I think there's such a difference. I mean, I think a lot of people like the current fashion, which is like a lot of crop tops and like,
sure,
like, but I just don't like that. Like,
well, sensory wise,
yeah, like sensory wise, just like
your belly will be cold,
right? I kind of am always been drawn to like a more like what old women wear.
Yeah.
Or like, I want to just like be rich enough to like just shop at Eileen Fisher. And it's not even necessarily the body type thing. It's just like the image of myself that I like want to put out in the world.
Yeah.
Like is more like traditional and not necessarily, I guess in a way conservative, but not in a bad way, not in like a Republican way, but more just in like a like.
That's how you feel comfortable.
Yeah, like I like that kind of look. Like I like
classic pieces.
Am I going against who I am and what I believe in if I slightly modify what I eat for the next 7 months so that I like my photos on my wedding, right? Like
I don't know.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like that is the thing that it's like, is that like a totally okay thing to allow myself to do?
It made me sad to hear, but
it makes me sad to say.
I don't know.
I don't know. And I think maybe again it is that moderation. It is not like, oh my God, I need
time to do the 7-month juice.
Yeah, or like I don't even plan to weigh myself. I don't ever weigh myself.
Yeah.
But like, am I allowed to?
I don't know.
Slightly, you know what I mean? Like it's like
sad,
this like weird fucked up thing that like I'm like, but then am I a hypocrite? Am I undoing all of this work that I've done in my body acceptance? Yeah. Or like, are we allowed to just like have certain preferences for certain big moments and then that's also okay? Like, it's such a confusing thing.
I know that you and I both have families that are very bordering on eating disorder.
I don't want to use those terms, but they are very weight conscious, I will say.
I had some like really hard conversations with my mom about her concern about me being more masculine leading to weight gain, which I just was like, that's not a problem. Like if that's fine if that happens. And I think a lot of that has to do with like the work of fat activists too. So thanks. The visibility online of fat activists I think has helped immensely, and that's like one tangible way that it like affected my life for sure. Maybe also like there's part of transitioning where I don't have maybe the same pressures applied to women to myself anymore.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that like if I get bigger that's kind of a good thing, because then I'll seem more like, you know, I'll be like Vin Diesel or something.
Yeah, I think you're only a few months away from being like Vin Diesel.
But also, Vin Diesel's ripped, so that's one thing I don't have.
I think a lot of male celebrities that are very ripped are also on steroids.
Steroids. Okay. I don't want to get into ab implants, but